Welcome to Facebook Conversations. Warning, this is a safe place for intellectual conversation regarding the Fizz feed.
Negativity may be deliciously repackaged
And promptly returned to sender. Only good vibes allowed beyond this point. Fizz feed Conversations.
New surveillance footage obtained exclusively by CNN appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her. In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground. As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor back to the hotel room. Ventura is seen picking up a hotel phone. Combs seems to walk back to the hotel room, then returns and appears to shove her in a corner. Moments later, he can be seen throwing an object in her direction. According to Ventura's now settled lawsuit, the pair began dating several years after they met in 2005. They parted ways in 2019. Combs' attorney said the decision to settle was in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Ventura declined to comment on the video, but her attorney told CNN the gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory behavior of Mr. Combs. Words cannot express the courage and fortitude that Miss Ventura has shown in coming forward to bring this to light. The video hasn't been seen publicly before and comes on the heels of a series of civil lawsuits alleging Combs' involvement in sex trafficking and sexual abuse. Allegations Combs has repeatedly denied. In a December 2023 statement, Combs responded to the claims in all the lawsuits, saying, "Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged." CNN has reached out to representatives for Combs for comment.
All right, Champagne Gang, let's get into it. Welcome to the Fizz Feed Conversation. So today, CNN has released footage of Diddy assaulting Cassie at a hotel. And for the longest, I tried not to touch the Diddy situation because it has so many layers to it. But once I saw this video, I couldn't not say anything about it because I have a few questions. And the few questions that I have is, number one, who covered this up? And who covered this up for so long? One thing that you'll learn about the Empress over here at Champagne Secrets is I am highly a conspiracist, right? I am always paying attention to more than what's just going on and more than what's just being said. So when I saw that everybody was coming at Diddy with everything that they had, immediately in my mind, I said, if all of this is going on, then all of this has been going on, which means that there's somebody above Diddy who's covering all of this stuff up. So while everyone is so focused on Diddy, and yes, Diddy needs to take his ass to jail for everything that he did to Cassie, for the death of his baby mom, Diddy needs to pay. But we need to stop looking so much at Diddy because the law is going to handle what needs to happen with Diddy. And we need to figure out who above Diddy has covered this up for so long. One thing that we used to say in church back in the day is the oil drips from the head down. So if you see a pool of oil at the bottom, it dripped from somewhere. So that means if Diddy has been allowed to get away with this for this long, then there's somebody above him who's doing the same shit and probably even more that no one's paying attention to because all of our eyes are on Diddy right now. The hotel needs to be blamed for this. The police department, if they were called, needs to be blamed for this. Because how did this girl get beat this viciously and no one did anything? And that's the problem I have with this society. We're so quick to cover up stuff instead of allowing stuff to be put on the rug so that these criminals can be brought to justice. I don't care how much power you have. I don't care how much notoriety you have. When you do fuck shit, you ought to be punished for fuck shit. I probably should have did this in the Hennessy zone. I probably should have, because this absolutely pissed me off. But what pissed me off more is trying to understand why Cassie stayed for so long. And this is what I want these young girls to understand. When you try to go after these powerful men in certain industries, everyone is not wrapped tight, and they do not see you as women. They do not see you as companions. They do not see you as lovers. They see you as objects. They see you as possessions, and they see you as sex toys. And a lot of times these women stay, and I'm not saying this is the case in Cassie's situation, but a lot of times these women stay because after you leave a man with that much power and notoriety, where do you go? Who's going to sustain the level of lifestyle that I have now? And it pains me to understand and to know that there are women who subject themselves to being in this situation for a lifestyle. Because let me show y'all when this would have went from jail to penitentiary for me, right? Right about here, when he grabbed her and slung her like a rag doll, then kicked her with all his might like he was trying to kick a field goal, then walked back over to her and stomped on her. Please help me understand why after this point she stayed. Now he dragging her around the house like she a Raggedy Ann and Andy doll. Why would you stay after this point? Because for me, see, I don't do bullets, but I do blades, and it would have been fillet a nigga all throughout that hotel room. I would have had a problem with the hotel, because what do you mean someone said that he paid off the hotel to not release the footage? So you're just as complicit in her assault as he is. When do we stop covering up BS and BS behavior just for the dollar? You know, a long time ago when I got ready to do my channel, one of the things that I said that I was going to do a video on is, can you be bought? Because so many times we are seeing in this society that this stuff is allowed to go on because there's so many people in the world today that have a price. Struggle is so great that you're willing to be bought off to cover up abuse, to cover up heinous crimes, and to cover up assault of women in your establishment for the almighty dollar. As the songs say, for that mean, mean green. And this girl went through this for years. Someone please help me understand why. Why? When you could have reached out to somebody. And I understand somebody's going to jump in my comments and say, well, she was afraid. She was afraid. Yeah, I get that. But I also understand that for me, as a child, we learned an old Negro spiritual that said, before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord to be free. If you stay in this situation, you take a chance of this man unaliving you. So I'd rather fight my way to freedom than sit back and let a nigga, just because he has money, think that I can be an automatic punching bag to him because he's providing me a lifestyle. I will not. I mean, if we gonna talk about it, then scoot up for a second and let's talk. Because I'm so tired of seeing these stories. Black, white, Puerto Rican. This isn't a color thing. This is a culture thing. This is a race thing. And when I say race, I mean the human race. This is sick that every time you turn on the TV and every time you turn around, someone's being beaten, someone's being unalived, someone's being harmed, someone's being trafficked, someone's being imprisoned, and someone is covering it up. So more than just paying attention to what Diddy is doing, because he's getting his comeuppance, we need to start investigating who above Diddy covered this shit up for so long, that this girl and so many other girls have been allowed to be abused at the hands of these people with money and power and notoriety because they felt like they were untouchable, and someone on top of them, someone above them covered it up, so for the longest they could be untouchable. We got to do better. And I know someone's going to say, oh, you're victim blaming. No, I'm not victim blaming. I'm victim warning. I'm victim preventing. And because you guys are such a show me generation, this is such a show me world, we have to use a victim to prevent a victim. That's what we're doing. Somebody else to jump in my comments, oh, if you've never been a victim of abuse, you don't understand. The problem is I have. That's why I can talk to you the way that I do. The difference is my abuse was mental and emotional, but I stopped it before it got to physical. Because what y'all don't understand with abuse, it doesn't start off like this. A lot of times it starts off emotional, it starts off mental, so that they can break you down to the point that when it becomes physical, you're so emotionally and mentally drained and gone that you don't fight back, much like you see Cassie in this video. My ex was extremely emotionally and mentally abusive. And one day, in the midst of a heated argument, he balled up his fist at me. And see, with me, whenever I'm about to go from zero to penitentiary, I do this Michael Myers head tilt thing. That's how I know that I'm about to blow. And I looked at him and I told him, if you hit me, I promise you I will cut you in half and in half again. I cannot make this up. And orange will be the new black. And I will wait here with a confession letter, a blunt, and a smile on my face for the police to arrive. Please don't play with me. And I know somebody is going to say, be careful what you share on YouTube. You know, people are weird. I don't give a damn. I am transparent with a purpose. That's the whole purpose of my channel, is to empower women and individuals so you don't end up like Cassie, because I'm tired of seeing these stories. So if me releasing my story helps to help someone else, then so damn be it. This is not about me. This is about helping other young ladies not become her. That's what this is about. And if you're following anyone on this platform that is not making that their priority, then we have a bigger problem than just what we see on this screen. Because everyone's goal should be to help someone else to not become a victim. Everyone's talking about victim blaming. How about we talk about how to stop people from becoming victim? How to stop people from having a victimized mentality, that they stay in relationships like this and allow themselves to continue to be abused. And where was her family at? Did she not have anyone in her family that cared enough to pay attention to the signs? Because I can guarantee you there were signs even without this footage. There's no way in hell I'm not going to be paying attention to my family to know when something is wrong, and to not step up and let MFs like this know that this person has somebody behind their back, that has their back, and is willing to go 10 toes to war over someone that I love. Where was her family at? Where was the people that cared about her, who said that they loved her, that she had to go through this alone by herself for years with no one coming to her defense? I remember when my daughter had just had my grandson. She had took my grandson to the baby's daddy's house to babysit while she went to work. She ended up coming back home after work, but she didn't have my grandson, and she had this look on her face. And I looked at her immediately and I said, what's the problem? Where's my grandson at? She told me they won't let him come back. The hell you mean they won't let him come back? I drove all the way over to the house, and on the way there, I called the police and told them, if you don't meet me at this house by the time I get here, it's going to be a whole problem, because that's flesh of my flesh and blood of my blood in that house. And what I am letting you know is I will not leave those premises without my grandchild. Please and believe. I will level this whole block over mine, because I wanted to make sure that they knew that my daughter and my grandson had somebody that was standing behind her 10 toes by themselves if they had to let a the fricker know not to play with her. Where was somebody who had her back like that? Who was willing to say, I might not be able to whoop you, but you're going to know that she has somebody that has her back, because if you hurt her, you're going to have to hurt me too. Where were the people who cared about Cassie? If we're going to talk about it, then let's talk. Or were they just mesmerized by the fact that she was with Diddy, that they turned a blind eye and did nothing and said nothing? Let's talk about it. Because too many young girls are being unalived. Because so many people are sitting back and watching this stuff happen and doing nothing. This is such a see everything, do nothing world. Is sickening. You will sit back and watch somebody be harmed and not even call the police, not even step in. I remember a time when we protected each other. When the block was your protection, when your mama was going to work. Now you got kids in houses that are being unalive with a neighbor right upstairs or right next door, and they heard something, but they didn't do anything. And you wonder why so many people right now are running around suicidal. I'm not monetized on this channel, so I don't have to worry about getting demonetized because of anything that I say. Hell, I've only received one Cash App since I've been on YouTube's in January, and I just reached 300 subscribers, so I don't care about any of that. This man is dragging this woman like a rag doll on the camera, so that means the hotel had it, and you did nothing. There's complicity in this as his hand is striking her in the face. And he doing it all with a towel on, wrapped in a towel. Shows you how demented and sick he is. So you all out in the open, in the hallway, drag. Somebody could have, you don't care about nothing. But like I said, it's because there's somebody that's above him that's pulling the strings, that's kept it covered up for so long. And now for some odd reason, they're pissed at Diddy. So they're raining down hell on his head, probably to take heat off of them. I truly believe in false flag situations. So I'm trying to understand what is all this attention on Diddy trying to keep our eyes off of above him. That's what we should be paying attention to. And young ladies, scoot up. You're not exempt. Because at some point, you guys are going to have to stop chasing after money. You're going to have to stop chasing after the bag. You're going to have to stop chasing out of these men that you seemingly believe have all this power and fame and influence. Because look at Cassie. Look at what power and fame and influence gets you. Look at what being attached to people in the industry with no self-control and no care and no remorse and no moral aptitude, no emotional IQ. I said it before and I will say it again. Power corrupts. Absolute power absolutely corrupts. You want to see the nature of the heart of an individual, look at their actions when they get a level of power. This was always in him. Power and money made him feel invincible so that he could release it. And someone above him who feels even more invincible protected it for so long because it benefited them. And now all of a sudden it's no longer a benefit for them. So now they're raining down hell on him. Is it worth it? You tell me. Drop in the comments and let me know what you think about this story. I would really love to have an open conversation with you guys about it. But like I said, I'm a new channel. I have gone live a few times, but I haven't had a lot of people in my live. So a lot of times what I do is I release videos on live so that I can start having lives on my channel. But they're all pre-recorded until I get the engagement up in the live so that we can start having open panel discussions, which is really my passion, is to really have conversations with you guys and to find out your opinion and how you feel and what you think about these situations that are going on, because this is sick and it needs to be stopped. I'm almost at the point where I feel like the whole music industry needs to be shut down and just start over fresh from scratch because it's all corrupt. But the problem is we're paying so much attention to the artists that we're not paying attention to the ones who are controlling the artists, who are letting them get away with this stuff. That's the biggest problem. Confidants. Always remember, if it doesn't cause you to elevate, it's causing you to depreciate. Now raise those glasses, clink, and let's drink till we meet again. Ta-ta.